Good morning and welcome to the Bug Springs Trailhead. We are at the lower part of Bug Springs. You can also start up here, but you've got a big climb here and then it's downhill. Today we're just gonna run straight uphill. This is a fun trail, a little technical, a little rocky, like I said, straight up, but it's a lot of fun and it's an out and back for us today. So we're just gonna run as far as we want and then turn around when we feel like turning around. Overall, it's about a 9 to 10 mile trail if you do it out and back. Something else you can do is be shuttled, drop a car up here and just run it one way. We've done that before with mountain bikes. Mountain bikes are also a thing to note on this trail. This is a heavily mountain bike traffic trail. So be on the lookout if you are running this one. Another thing is, it's quite exposed. So bring enough water because you're gonna need it. One last thing, the earlier you start on this trail, the better, and the less hot it will be. This is lower down on Mount Lemmon, so it's going to be hotter. The higher up you get on Mount Lemmon, the cooler it is. So if you saw my other video on Marshall Gulch, it's pretty much always 70 degrees up there or cooler. Down here though, it's going to be closer to 80, potentially 90 degrees. And again, it's exposed, no shade, so bring enough water and prepare to suffer a little bit in the heat. Bug Springs is a run that can easily be turned into a hike if the steep climb and rocks get to you. What I love about this run is that there's a lot of elevation gain, and you can take it onto other trails if you have not had enough fun climbing and climbing. Like I've said, this is heavily trafficked by mountain bikes, but it is for a reason. It's a very fun mountain bike trail if you're into mountain biking, so whether you run it or mountain bike it, it's a great trail to check out. The path is well defined and it's easy to follow. This trail has some great views as you continue upwards. It's mostly made of nice fine gravel, which I enjoy running on, but you gotta watch out for some sneaky hidden rocks. Not all the rocks are hidden. A lot of the rocks are very clearly out and about and will trip you up, but what happens is the sun is so bright that it almost washes out all of the rocks. So it's hard, at least for me, to see them. Some of the smaller sneaky ones, and those are the ones that you can easily trip on. Now, if you're doing an out and back on this trail, or you're only going out for a couple miles, I'd recommend starting at the lower trailhead. If you start at the top, then you're gonna be in for a lot of steep climbing and descending on railroad tie stairs. We turned around and headed downhill, which is usually my favorite part, and today was no exception. We enjoyed bombing down the trail all the way back to the car. Whew! I don't care how far you go or how short you go, that trail kills. In a good way, but also I don't think I've ever made it to the top and back. I've always turned around early. It just gets hot, and I guess I need to start it earlier in the day. I've mountain biked it all the way, but I look forward to the day that I can run it all the way. After an early morning run, you'll probably need some food to fill you up and replace all those lost calories. If you've got all day, I'd recommend going up to the Mount Lemmon ski valley and grabbing brunch at the Iron Door. If you get a meal there on Saturday before noon, I believe, you'll get a free lift ticket to the ski lift to ride to the top of the mountain. The breakfast is quite reasonable and cheaper than a lift ticket, so it's a win-win. They gave us a great deal of food that kept me full for the rest of the day. They even have a nice outside deck with a lovely view of the sparkling aspens. We weren't so lucky to sit outside, it was completely full, but even the indoor space was really nice. They have lots of big windows that they keep open since the weather's so nice up at the top of Mount Lemmon. With full tummies, we took our free tickets across the street and hopped on the ski lift. Alrighty.
Stand on the orange line. There you go.
Perfect.
You go, wow, that was easy.
It's so sunny.
That's less than 10 minutes, really.
Yeah. The ride to the top was nice and slow, allowing plenty of time to take in the peace and quiet of the pine trees and aspens. Most ski lifts I've ridden in the past have been really loud, but this one was quiet enough to fade into the background and allow the rustling of the trees to be heard. The ride to the top lasted about 15 minutes. For us, it got a little windy. Though it was really nice in the sun, when we hit the shade, I was really happy to have brought a light jacket. I'd certainly recommend that even in the summer. It gets cold out there, even when it's 100 degrees in Tucson. We were not able to walk around on the top like you usually are. The recent fire had caused the Forest Service to shut down that part of the mountain, so instead we enjoyed the view from the platform and then headed back down. By now the top should be reopened so you can get off and hike around and enjoy the view for a bit longer. I think the ride down was probably my favorite part, just because we got to see the impressive view of the mountain the whole way down and just really take it in. It's breathtaking. I'd already done my run for the day, so I felt no guilt riding up the mountain instead of running up it. My stomach was full, and this wrapped up the day nicely.
So bad.
You get over the orange arrows and then just kind of slip to the sides.
You bet. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for coming up.
We headed back down the mountain just as happy as can be. If you don't end up getting your ticket free with a meal at the Iron Door, you can simply go to the ticket booth at the base of the ski lift and they'll hook you up. They've got a small gift shop, coffee shop, and a deck to check out as well. If you only have time to drive to the top of Mount Lemmon, it's totally worth it. I love that you start in the saguaros and make your way all the way to the aspen trees in cooler weather. Mount Lemmon certainly takes much more than a day to explore, but that's why I'll be doing more trail tourisms up here. As you drive up the mountain and as you drive back down, be aware that there are a lot of bikers that ride up the mountain. Honestly, most of the bikers that ride down are probably going to be moving faster than you, but it's still something to be aware of as you drive on the mountain. Share the road, y'all! Thanks for joining me today on Bug Springs. I really hope you get a chance to go check it out. If you go to Mount Lemmon, I promise you won't be disappointed. It's really, really a gem in the middle of the desert. I will see y'all later, and happy trails, y'all.